Well, Dino-Rama is officially closed, and this week we got to see what was happening, and we're going to take a look at what happens next. Festival of the Arts is open. Lunar New Year is happening. So much to talk about, and we'll talk about it all tonight on ParksCenter. Welcome to ParksCenter for tonight's Sunday. It's January 19th, 2025. I'm your host, Rob Whiteside. Thank you, guys. Always thank you for being with us. We appreciate you. If you have not already, please subscribe to this channel, WDWNT TV. More great content, and also don't forget to give us a thumbs up as it helps people to find us, and, it also makes us feel good. Here with us tonight is this illustrious panel. A lot of OG folks on tonight, including Allison.
Good evening, everyone.
That's Shannon. She's just waving. Is that what's happening there? Uh-oh.
Happy Sunday Fun Day.
There it is.
I'm just making sure you're on your toes, Rob.
Yes, ma'am. I'm trying. And of course, in the bottom, Mr. Pete Carney. What's happening?
Divaco, everyone. I'm very excited to be here. Thank you for having me. Let's do this.
Yes, sir. Let's do it. Hey, let's talk about the Best Fest. I know, I don't know if people think that that's cute when I say that, or they're just like, Rob, let's stop. But I think that the Festival of the Arts is the Best Fest, and it started this past Friday. There are a lot of new and returning features happening at the Festival of the Arts. There's a lot of stuff that happens, including those Epcot points of light with the Rainbow Connection. That's actually come back. We've also seen the scavenger hunt with Figment and so much more. Pete Carney, were you actually at Festival of the Arts?
We were there. We
props.
We had a nice group. We got a lot done. So we actually have our chalkboard. I can tell you how many booths we hit. So I had a total of 25 food items, a total of 26 drinks, and we hit 13 of the booths so far on day one. So not a bad day one.
Okay.
Like you said, this is like what the locals love this fest. The park is, I would say, the second most beautiful it ever is. The first being, I think, Flower and Garden. It's just so beautiful, the floral arrangements. But the artwork everywhere, the chalk art, the live entertainment, the Disney on Broadway concert series, and the food. Honestly, the food across the board is just so much better than your average fest. Like, if you compare it to Food and Wine, and not that it's bad, it's just a higher quality. Everything, it was hard. A lot of the time in Food and Wine, we're like, we're good, and a lot of people don't want to finish dishes. On this, people were finishing almost every single dish. We liked almost everything we ate.
Gotcha. Okay. That sounds good to me. The food, the merchandise, I think the merchandise is actually better at this festival than most of them, the ones that they have. Again, it's all designed to be around art, and and they also sell art, so they have actual artists there who are selling their art. You mentioned chalk. They also have this deal where they pretend like there's chalk, the chock full of character, where they take the chalk stickers and they put them on walls. So I don't really think that's actual chalk, right? That's just the illusion of chalk. And then they have what's that?
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, and then we, like I said, they have the Figment scavenger hunt. But speaking of Figment, there's a Figment popcorn bucket. If anybody remembers, about 4 years ago, there was a Figment popcorn bucket that caused 7-hour lines at the park. And yeah, I know Allison just shakes her head if it's something like that. But so there were 7-hour lines for the original Figment popcorn bucket. Then they came back the next year with the same bucket, and they were a little smarter about it. They have a better system for distribution. And then last year they had that really cool imagination building. This one I had some skepticism about when I looked at it. I know, Allison, you're thinking some skepticism. Yeah, actually, because it looks kind of weird, like with this light bulb situation. But
it looks like a bubble wand. It looks like those insufferable bubble wands that we end up buying every trip because my daughter sees them and wants them.
You wouldn't buy this for your daughter?
No.
Okay, why not?
I did like the Imagination Pavilion one last year. I thought that was like kind of cute. I'm not buying that, but I'm definitely not buying this.
Yeah, no, I get it. Let me ask you this though. There's been something that has been bothering me since day one about our good friends at Communicore Hall. Let's recap for everybody. Communicore Hall was shown this concept art. And as a matter of fact, it was supposed to be something even bigger than this. So, Shannon, I'll go to you actually first on this one because I know that you're a fan of the original artwork. What they introduced us with was they said you can have this, and we're like, it's going to be much better when the festivals come around, and they gave us this. And so this was their last chance. Every festival has been kind of lame. I think they may have actually done it here. I think they actually may have done it. The Broadway. Disney on Broadway celebrates 30 years this year, and so they finally have shown us something I think worth seeing. Shannon, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, they turned this around in what, 2 weeks? Not even? Where have they been sitting on this stuff? They've set an expectation now. I think this is great. I've not seen it in person, but from what I've heard and seen and read, it looks as amazing as it appears when I look online. So Disney, you have your work cut out for you to keep this up now.
Yeah, right. That's true. Allison, anything else that the Festival of the Arts where you're like, hey, I'm really looking forward to seeing that, whether it be the chalk art, the artists, the food. I know it's not the merchandise.
I just want a sushi donut. They're so cute. I think like the thing about this, looking at all the offerings, it's finally a festival that there's something for everyone. So if you have a small kid and you can walk around and do the scavenger hunt and look at the chalk art and look at the hidden characters, there's also really good food and really good drinks and all of it. You can go with just adults, or you can go with every single member of your family, and there's something to do. And that's just it's not the case with Food and Wine at Flower and Garden. So this is 100% the best, and I want to do all the things. I want to walk around and find Pascal hidden in where they've got him. I want to, and I'm gonna do this. Finally, this is the first year I'm gonna actually get to go in February. I'm very excited.
Exciting.
Pete, let me ask you this. The Italy booth always gets abused. Doesn't matter what festival. Did you get to this cannoli or not really? Or what kind of food did you have that you really liked?
We did stop by the Italy booth. Hey, what's up, Kenny? Kenny's here. We did stop by the Italy booth. We did every food item and the beverages. And I will say, you're going to hate me for this. I didn't try the cannoli. I did the entree.
Oh.
I know. Well, here's the thing. It's a lot of food, and I'm not a dessert person to begin with. So I was more reviewing the entrees and the drinks. But from what we heard, this was the best thing at the Italy booth, if food-wise. If that helps at all, anyone. But it's the Italy booth, so you got to set the bar really, really low. You can't mess up a cannoli.
I mean, you say that you can't mess up a cannoli, but again, every festival, every year, everybody says that Italy's thumbs down when it should be the best one. It should be the best one because it's got cannoli and it's got pasta and it's got pizzas and I don't know.
It's hard to make a good cannoli though. Maybe hard to mess it up. There's a lot of mediocre cannolis out there.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, there's a certain tier. We all know of the best cannolis, right? A place you go, you wait in line at the Italian bakery, and then there's the ones you'll eat because they're still cannolis, and there's the ones that have just been out too long or the shell wasn't made right. So again, hot food at the Italy booth never really delivers, but this I think amongst the group we thought wasn't that bad for Italy.
Gotcha. For that bad.
Other than that, yeah, the shell could use a little work, but they were popping out a lot. It also depends, I feel what batch of shells you get, because if it sits too long or if it's not kept at the right temperature, it can ruin the whole cannoli.
Like McDonald's fries.
There's a lot of cannoli talk.
Yeah. All right. So we'll move on. Festival of the Arts is open until February 24th. If you get a chance, go visit. It's a great time. Part of this is that the Voices of Liberty, who perform at Epcot at the American Pavilion, have gotten new costumes for the Festival of the Arts. And before I show them, here's what the original, the OG Epcot Voices of Liberty costumes looked like. I'm a fan of these. I like these. It feels very authentic, I guess. Here's something they did at one point. I don't know what this was about, but they did this.
I think that was when they could wear whatever they want. It was just like wear something blue.
Wear something blue, kind of like Target. Like, just wear a red shirt and you're fine. Okay,
Exactly.
that's exactly what I'm looking for when it comes to costuming at Epcot. But they came up with this. These are the new Voices of Liberty costumes. They're modern with the kind of the old world look to them, I guess, and they're made from recycled materials. And they finally debuted them at the Festival of the Arts, and they're here. Allison, I want to go to you on this one first because I know I have opinions. What are your opinions about these new costumes for the Voice of Liberty?
I can't wait to hear what Shannon thinks, but I think this looks like a high school production of Hamilton, and like the high school sewing class has made them for the high school production. I don't understand this at all. Like the detailing on it is like squiggly lines, and it looks weird. I don't understand why it's not just like authentic period costumes anymore. They're just like, there are weird like angles on these, like this beige one, the second from the left, it looks like it's not like it not intentionally cut angularly, like they did it, like it was messed up. I don't know why it looks like that. It's just perplexing choices were made in costuming.
Okay. All right. We'll go to Shannon. What do you think, Shannon?
I mean, very similar opinions. You don't need to tell me it's made of recycled material. It looks like it's made of recycled material. It's garbage. It doesn't reflect the period at all. I am with you, Rob. I think the original Epcot, like that's what I think of, and that's what I want when it comes to Voices of Liberty. It doesn't even look like it fits them well. No offense to them, but it does not look good. It's not doing anyone any favors.
Okay. Well, I have this entered my mind as I'm looking at these costumes. I was looking at this. I was like, what does this remind me of? Here are the Eternals from Marvel. Like Eternals. I kind of get vibes of what that looks like. I don't know. There was something about it that I was just like, that looks a little bit familiar with that one. Voices of Liberty are great. I mean, I think it's if you've never stopped and gone into the Rotunda, even if you weren't going to go see the American Adventure, you should stop and listen to the Voices of Liberty. Beautiful. Always beautiful. They perform at the holidays and they do other things and they have special holiday costumes. I can't wait to see if these are permanent. And then if so, what does the holiday overlay of these costumes then look like? Because they usually do like the winter with like the women have like the big muff things. And it's like, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how that works out.
It's some of them, like, first of all, can I argue they look better in person, but some of them, like, just individually, like, if you look at the guy on the right, like, he could be a prince. Like, people just be confused. Like, some of them look very regal, and some of them look like they're a server at Colonial Williamsburg.
Agreed.
So it's just, I think it's just the hodgepodge. It's an interesting decision putting them together like this. But I will say they look better in person, but it's an interesting choice, I would say.
It's a choice. They've made a choice.
It's a choice.
No, that's fine. They're allowed to make a choice, I guess. I don't know. Again, I feel like the authenticity of the costuming is what matters to me a lot more. Is that it's just been very nice that whatever country you go to, the authenticity is there. I used to work at Living with the Land when it was Listen to the Land, and back then we had to wear the most heinous costumes you have ever seen. It was a powder blue farmer's jumpsuit made out of polyester.
Come on, you have the picture.
Horrible.
Pull it up. You know you have it ready.
No,
What are you pulling the picture of?
It's going to take a lot of money.
Rob.
It's going to take a lot of money. But
Super chats, friend.
No.
I will send a super chat.
But what I was going to say was for another time. It's for another time. But what I was going to say was the newer costumes, it's fine that they wear shorts and the kind of like the Hawaiian button-up shirt-ish kind of a look because it's future world, but when you're doing something in a country, I don't know, it just feels like you should have the stuff from the country, I guess. I don't know. I don't know about that, but we'll hear from everybody on that. Let's go to these new AP offers that are happening. One of the things that I wanted to point out is that Magic Keys are returning for the folks on the left coast. If you are in California or are looking to get a Magic Key, those go on sale this week, January 22nd. No earlier than 9 a.m. Pacific. I love that verbiage. No earlier than 9 a.m. Pacific. And these are one of those things where they come, they show up, and then they disappear almost instantly. And it's so funny because of the price point that they have on these things that they go so quickly. But again, it says actually it's no earlier than 8:45 a.m. But the Inspire Key, which is the one that you can buy if you're out of state, is only $1,749. And then the Believe Key is $1,374, Enchant $974, and Imagine if you were going to spend $600 and hardly ever get to go in. That would be great. So again, those go on sale. But for those of us who have the annual pass on the East Coast, there's going to be another magnet, and we kind of called this. Actually, I feel like I kind of called this last week that it was going to be Ray because Ray's awesome. We knew it was going to be Princess and the Frog, which seems kind of weird since this is an Epcot thing. It's not happening at Tiana's Bayou Adventure. It's happening at Epcot. You can pick this up during the Festival of the Arts, and again, you have to supply your linked Magic Band or your ticket, and then you have to have a valid government-issued ID, your firstborn, a blood sample, all those things, and then they'll decide if they want to let you pick it up. The other thing that is a perk for pass holders is they'll let you buy this exclusive annual pass holder frozen lavender lemonade that will be at the Regal Eagle while you're there, and it has the Rivers of Light glow cube on top of it, just because they were
never forget.
Yeah, they were
They found a
recycling
box
a bit.
of them,
Yeah,
and they're
exactly.
going to make money off of it.
Yep. And then finally, we have pass holder exclusive merchandise for Festival of the Arts. And honestly, I think that this looks better than a lot of recent pass holder merchandise goes. But Shannon, pass holder perks, are you happy with these?
I love a magnet, and I love that they're picking what I would think is a minor character in a movie to put on the magnet. That is very cool. I love Ray, so I want to see more of that than the standard Mickey, Minnie, Let's branch outside the Fab Five.
Okay. Pete, thoughts?
Yeah, I was going to say, I get where you're coming from, where you said with Princess and the Frog, it's an Epcot thing. But I do like the more obscure characters, or I like, we have a lot, obviously I have a fridge, washing machine, dryer full of pass holder magnets. So I can take a look around and see who we have a lot of. So do you get a new rare, we'll call it, or obscure character, even though Ray really does steal the show in that movie. But I'm curious why they would have used Ray for Flower and Garden. Like, that would work so perfect with the Flower and Garden theme. But anyway, yeah, I'll take this magnet. Does it have to make sense? No, but when has Epcot ever made sense in the last 5 years? And as far as the lemonade, I don't get how this is a perk. Unless you're giving it to us.
Yeah.
How is this a perk? I have to pay money for this. And first of all, a little tip for anyone out there. If you have a bunch of these glow cubes, which I have a ton of, you can ask for it with the glow cube, and you will save a couple bucks. And that's on every drink, alcoholic beverages, all locations, in case you didn't know that. Because you're literally paying for the glow cube on top of the cost of the beverage. I don't get how this is a perk unless you're giving it to me for free. I just don't understand. Unless this was like something crazy that like, it had to be like something like truly inspired. It was the water that, I don't know. I'm gonna say something ridiculous and get me in trouble. But this is not a perk. This is please give us more money. So yeah, the magnet's cool, and I will agree that I like the pass holder merch a lot better than the last few sets that came out. I didn't buy any pass holder merch for the last few sets, and this stuff looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. It is weird to say, hey, this is a perk for you. It's like you said, Allison. It's like they found a box of these things, and now they're allowing you to buy it. Before we move on, any thoughts from you on this one, Allison?
Just no thank you on all of it. I don't want it. I want the free stuff, and I really don't want to pay for anything.
Those thank you to all of it.
I mean, I like the idea of this like lavender lemonade, but it does seem weird that they would just save something for pass holders to buy separately. It does seem a little odd. Maybe they only found that one box of glow cubes, and that's why they had to limit this to just pass holders.
No, the glow cubes are everywhere. You can get these still everywhere across Disney. This is ridiculous. Oh,
okay.
It's not even like you're in an exclusive space. You have to wait in line with everybody else at Regal Eagle to get this too. It's not even like we have a pass holder lounge where they have this specially set up. It's so ridiculous to me. It makes me so angry. This is not a perk. This is a punishment. Anyway.
Well, you know, they had that pass holder lounge for the AP days last year.
Well, the AP days are nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then also, too, another thing that makes me mad about this perk is what if somebody actually does really want to try it and they're not a pass holder? What? We're going to hold back lemonade from somebody because they're not a pass holder? This is ridiculous. I mean, it should be free for pass holders, and then if someone who's not a pass holder wants to try it, charge them. There you go. Yeah. Now it's a perk.
I would love to see you walking around with one, just trying to like get people involved with it, and then go, "Oh, where can I buy that? Are you a pass holder? I'm sorry, you can't have that. Just me."
No.
Yeah, that's fun.
Back of the line.
Yeah, let's move on. We're going to talk
about $1,200. You want it? Here you go.
Bargain. It's a bargain. The Lunar New Year celebrations are in full effect in Shanghai, but also at Disney California Adventure Park in California. We've had teams out there looking into food reviews and such. It's kind of a kind of a festival for them. They don't call it a festival. It's just the Lunar New Year celebration. But I've talked about this in the past that I've been. I think it's a really cool event. They actually have separate Mickey and Minnie costumes just for the Lunar New Year, which I think is pretty cool. It's the Year of the Snake, in case you were wondering. And then they also have, again, Allison, I know you love stuff like this. It's a straw clip that you can buy for So
I really need more plastic in my.
It's only $14.75, so it's a real bargain, honestly. If you're looking for something.
That's $14.75. They are making fun of us at Disney corporate. They are inventing things for people to open their. How much can we?
Laughing our way to the bank.
Next time, people will still buy it. Let's test it out. That's what they're doing. It's infuriating.
Anybody know how much a Disney balloon is these days? I feel like it's like $18 for a balloon, right?
Something like that.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
This is actually a really good game. We should just like guess the price of things that we don't buy anymore. Like that, it's insane. What does a Disney balloon cost?
No, I agree. Anytime I've seen, like, we've shown them on the blog, it's like, oh, there's a new balloon. We got to get out there and get a picture of that new balloon. I'm thinking, like, I can't remember ever getting a balloon for my kids because it seems like a heartache waiting to happen.
On the way out, because you see them on the way in, then it's like, you can't have this. But on the way out, if you're good, if that's the thing you get today, that's fine. And so we have done it. And more than once. And the thing is, you don't ask how much it is because it's a balloon and it's not like you're going through the store and like looking at it. And so then they take the little thing and you got your credit card out and you're like, $18.95, what? But it's too late because the balloon's around your kid's wrist and you're going out to the park. Like it's just
almost like, I dare you to take that away from your kid. And then the kid's holding it and then like, I don't like this tied to uh-oh.
No way. No way.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like that it hurts when it's $2 and if it's like 18 and then also like, well, we'll go get you another. No, we're not going to do that.
Just take the picture with the balloons on the way in or out and then you're satisfied. And that is free.
Yep. There you go. One other thing they do for the Lunar New Year is they have a processional that comes down. And this one, again, it's a very short, like a cavalcade. I don't know why they call this one a processional and everything else a cavalcade, but it's a very kind of it's like a mini parade. And again, very cool thing if you guys get a chance to do it. Let me check here. Pete, have you ever been out during the Lunar New Year? Have you looked into any of this stuff?
Lunar New Year is on my bucket list. Is the one thing I think I haven't done in the Disney park, so I'm very excited. It looks really cool. Like I always say, I'd rather them celebrate something and have something new and exciting. There's entertainment offerings. They got some food, merch. This is fun. I'm all about it. And they're not saying, hey, we have an annual pass holder perk. Do you want this? These dumplings that are $28 just for you, pass holders, just for you.
Yeah. Allison, before I ask you what you think of the Lunar New Year, I do want to show the exclusive popcorn bucket that they've dropped. How are you feeling about this one?
Where does the popcorn go?
Do you have thoughts on this or the Lunar New Year, Allison?
I'm so mad at that popcorn bucket. Don't understand. I opened the article and immediately closed the tab because I'm just too angry about it. So I will turn to something that's like pleasant about the Lunar New Year celebration. You do get something free that is like special, and that is like the 6 or 7 minute pre-show that they've added to World of Color, which they don't have to do. It's just like a thing that they do, and that kind of experience I am all for. You get to enjoy it. It's like you will remember it. It's like you will also remember the better about the timing of your trip because when I saw World of Color, it had this special pre-show. That stuff is very cool, and I'm all for it. Also looks gorgeous. All for that, but keep that popcorn bucket far away from me.
Yeah, I need to adjust here because I have a problem with popcorn buckets and sippers. This is a sipper. This isn't a popcorn bucket. So obviously, Pete, it's much more efficient to put the liquid in here. Look how easily that is.
It's not a proper receptacle for either thing. That's not good for liquid. That's not good for popcorn.
I want to see someone put that in their cup holder in their car. That would be fun.
I think there are very few that I've ever seen that were more ridiculous than that one. And then that one is the one that is the most ridiculous I've ever seen. I love Nightmare Before Christmas, Jack Skellington. The body was like this, and the arms and legs were like this long for a sipper, and it's just like it was absolutely ridiculous. I'm looking in chat Dawn says, I object to the fact that you can't fit any popcorn in. And again, it was actually, Dawn, that's on me. It was a sipper. But she said, unlike Rob, I get my popcorn buckets filled. Animal, what are you thinking? Are you kidding me, Dawn? You actually put it in the bucket? Oh, man, the resale value drops. It's going to smell like popcorn forever. You don't want that in a popcorn bucket. You want it to smell like plastic.
If you're using the same argument, you would buy this sipper and then hold a drink in your other hand?
Yes.
Okay.
I've done that before. Yeah. Yes, I've done that before.
Okay. Makes sense.
So this one, sorry, we're gonna lose Allison for a second. This one is a popcorn bucket that holds a popcorn bucket. Like you put the thing in here, so it's the receptacle, but it's not designed for actual popcorn to go in it. Look at that
this
sipper.
Is my favorite sipper.
I'm jealous. I do not have that one.
Oh.
Did you get that from H2O?
This was my favorite sipper. But look, this can hold a good amount of beverage. It'll sit flat on the table. There's no flimsy arms, legs, easy to refill. And it's Tilly. Come on, who doesn't love Tilly? Anyway, this is my sipper presentation because this is the only sipper that I've ever... And actually, I didn't even buy this. Shout out to Robert D. He bought this for me, and I love it.
Nice. Dawn said, I am an animal. Dawn, I'm just joking. Said with love, but also why would you put liquid or popcorn into these things? Because, that's just weird. Let's move on and talk a little bit about the Haunted Mansion in California. They have finally reopened this past weekend. They opened up the Haunted Mansion in California for the first time as the Haunted Mansion, because it's been an overlay of the Nightmare Before Christmas back in fall of 2023. And then in January of 2024, they closed it for renovations to redo the queue, to add that shed outside that they're calling a gift shop. And then it was Nightmare Before Christmas, the Haunted Mansion holiday for this past fall, and they just shut it down and put it back to the original for the first time in forever. So a couple things that they've done is, one is that they have introduced a new bride to the it's also added a new the new effect for the Haunted Mansion hitchhiking ghosts. What? Look at you! You're not done flexing popcorn buckets over here?
I just thought we were talking about this. Kenny there, so Kenny ran and grabbed the one he purchased. He actually did the right thing. He got his boarding group, waited in line, got it. So I figured I'd show it off in person. One little spark. But anyway, let's keep talking about Haunted Mansion. I love the Haunted Mansion.
But also, let's be clear. That popcorn is in a bag inside of
That is correct.
That is correct. So no harm done yet. If you were like pop it open and pour it in, now you've got a different. As
problem. My dad always told me about popcorn buckets, make sure you bag it.
I don't think. Okay, never mind. We'll talk. It's fine. So here's the new bride, and I don't know. Constance Hatchaway. It's a little bit different. She's holding, instead of a hatchet, she's holding a candelabra. And then of course again the hitchhiking ghosts were the Pepper's ghost effect with the, as they were coming around the corner, and now it's more the CGI situation. When it comes to these effects, Shannon, let me ask you this. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Don't move. Don't anybody go nowhere. Yes, Shannon, I'm going to ask you. Sorry. When it comes to these effects, are you like nostalgic for the old school ones? Because this was kind of the only place you could get the old school ones, or do you like the changes that they've done here?
So I'm torn. I like the changes. I hate the current bride in Florida. I don't like her face at all. I think that looks terrible. But the idea that the reason for this change was in part to be sensitive to, I guess, all the people who have been killed by an axe murderer. I don't know about that one. I mean, her name is Constance Hatchaway.
Yeah.
And we're just going to pretend like that has nothing to do with her wielding an axe anymore. I don't know. I don't get it. You should be in Clue with the candelabra in the attic. Constant.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, the Haunted Mansion has become more sensitive, as the Pirates of the Caribbean become more sensitive. So, we're still, I guess, if you've ever watched the CBS show Ghosts, they're very docile. So really,
but who are we being sensitive to? That's what I don't understand. I understand that these.
Well, you have to wait. Apparently there's a 3-part miniseries on Netflix about how Constance hatched away at her husband's. It's a whole, everyone loves a good murder crime doc. So
no.
Once we find out her backstory, maybe that's why they took the axe away.
Allison, progress, or do you like the nostalgic stuff?
Oh, I think I'm kind of a hypocrite because there are things that I really like. I actually like the upgrade for the hitchhiking ghosts in Florida. I'm glad they're getting that in California. I think it looks a whole lot better. I think it's like more engaging for like younger audiences when you're moving through it. But the Constance Hatchaway change, I agree. The bride in Florida looks terrible. Like I don't like it. It's distracting. So it's like I like it sometimes, and then other times I'm like, please leave it as it was. And if they ever like take away the Pepper's ghost effect in the ballroom, I will just like cry and boycott the ride and probably never go on it again. But yeah, I'm all for like upgrades.
What would that scene be if they took it away? It would just be a game of freeze tag.
Projection mapping. It's just projection
not
mapping.
Pepper's ghost. I'm saying if they used digital projections like they've upgraded for, like I would be very sad. No. It would look terrible, and I don't want to see that.
What's your least favorite saying from Constance? For me, it's "I do, I did." That's no, thank you. Sorry, Peter. You want to talk a little bit more about this before we move on?
No, we can move on. There's other fun stuff, but I agree with what everyone said. Is that I think the addition of new and upgraded technology is great, and I'm very excited for the West Coast. But I mean, I don't think it should have been a priority to remove. Literally, like everyone's saying, like it's the Haunted Mansion, it's Constance Hatchaway. What are we talking about? But anyway, let's move on. More fun stuff to talk about.
What are we talking about? Let's talk about Space Mountain. Space Mountain just turned 50 years young, which is usually a little scary for an attraction that is a thrill ride, right? Like, I don't think the actual track is 50 years old. They've done some modifications over time, but they do a pretty good job of keeping up with it. And of course, if you're a WDW&T fan, you know that there was a big Promising Tomorrows event that happened at the WDW&T studios in Florida this weekend with Imagineers who were involved with the original building of it. But here's the thing, and let me show you what they did to celebrate on the side of Disney, and you guys tell me what you think. So one of the things they did is they did this pre-recorded situation where they had fireworks and Mickey and Donald, and they had some guest speakers and like Josh Gad and some other folks talking, and they released it as a video to celebrate Space Mountain. So there weren't people there at this one. This is just something that they recorded and they put it up online and released for the anniversary. Then the night of, they lit Space Mountain up in gold for its 50th anniversary. I think that's kind of cool that they did that. And then just for the people with the cash money, they had the lights on for a Club 33 lights on ride through of Space Mountain. There were also 2 anniversary pins that they released for it. Allison, is what they did enough for an anniversary of an attraction? Are we bullying them too much when we go, is this all you did? Did they do more than they should have? What are your thoughts?
I mean, they could have done a whole lot more than they did. The video is a little bit weird and a little dystopian because there's like no one there and they just pre-recorded this thing. There's no audience. It feels like almost like a COVID era video because there's just like, there's no crowd. There are no fans at all. And fireworks is like kind of a generous term to apply to what they did. It kind of looked like sparklers around the top, which was very pretty. Like, I don't want to like really be too harsh on them, but I think like the golden lighting looks beautiful. Here's a moment where I'm actually a little surprised. I don't see a lot of like 50th anniversary like merch for Space Mountain. I think that would be like wildly popular. But yeah, I think like that they should have done more. This is an iconic attraction. It holds up, and I think you're right about thrill rides. That the older they get, the more thrilling they are. Like just look at Coney Island and the Cyclone.
Oh boy,
like exactly the same experience.
Yeah, and if you think about how short a time Primeval Whirl existed versus how long this one's existed, that's pretty impressive. It's been there for that long. So the Club 33 folks. Shannon, I'll throw this to you. The Club 33 folks got not only to ride Space Mountain with the lights on, but they got this really cool super duper meet and greet with Stitch and all of Stitch's cousins, like Stitch in the Experiment 626 and all of Stitch's cousins. I get that you spend a lot of money with Club 33, but doesn't this seem like something that maybe they could have kicked off with the Club 33 folks and then, I don't know, let everybody else do it?
No, they're paying way too much money, Rob. The peasants cannot be included in that.
Oh, but they're so cute.
But where are those characters hiding? Have they ever been seen before? That was my first time seeing.
They bring them out for like the fun run, the Run Disney events sometimes.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can also. I went on a school trip and we did some kind of program. It was called like the Yes program, but we got to ride Space Mountain with the lights on. So I wouldn't be feeling so special if I were in Club 33 right now.
Well, I mean, it was to kick off the anniversary. I don't know. He's got the pins. He's got the merch. And you know what? This could be step one. They could be doing more merch. There could be more. I mean, they could celebrate all year long, right? There's a nice
this easily something you celebrate. Space Mountain's an iconic attraction. It's still on people's must-do list when they're there. If they still have the pick 3 fast passes, that would still be in a lot of people's top 3. I think it's a joke. Like, also, like, they film the parade, right, that they do on TV in the parks while people are there. That pre-recorded video to me is almost like a waste of time, talent, and money. Is why even like go film that? Who cares? No one got to see it. No one got to be there. We didn't see the fireworks. We didn't see Josh Gad. I mean, Elton John plays in the middle of the park when they film the Christmas parade show. Like, it's such a. I'm just so mad. I mean, the whole 50th year, all we got was floor mats. You know, over in Paris for the 30th, They're getting specialty drone shows. It was just insane. And then now we get Space Mountain, an iconic attraction with pre-recorded video. Really? And 2 pins, which are $23 each. $50 for 2 pins. Come on.
Well, but you used your $1,200 AP discount, so you're welcome.
This would have been another nice annual pass holder perk. Come into the park an hour early and celebrate early in the morning as we celebrate with Josh Gad and friends. There we go. But no, we're stuck buying lemonades. Oh, I'm fired up tonight.
Pete, remember one of the first times I ever saw you in person, we went to that VIP pass holder, VIP pass holder. I'm sorry, I get that messed up all the time. The VIP.
How can I forget?
VIP pass holder event, which was nice. It was an extra hour, like an after hours extra for pass holders. They had lights on the ground that said, thanks for being a pass holder, and you were riding.
It was a whole spectacle just for being a pass holder. All you do is sign up and go to the event. This is something they easily could have done early in the morning or late at night. And actually celebrate this attraction that has stood the test of time. And still has somehow no one's lost a limb on this ride. It's crazy.
Does it always feel like that? Like if you hold your hands up, you're going to hit something?
I can touch the ceiling, so it is terrifying. Sometimes I just test it. It's scary. It is terrifying. But that's why we keep going on.
Yep. All right, let's move on and talk about this one. I'm here. Start my order. There's this new thing for, it looks like just for iOS. So, good for you guys because I'm one of the 8 people that has an Android. But it has all of the things that, like the screens that I used to have to, or usually have to monitor on my phone, they'll have them pop up on your home screen. I don't know. Is this something that has been such a problem for people that they've had the top men at Disney working on upgrading this? I mean, Pete, how are you feeling about this?
Yeah, I think this is more annoying that's there. This to me is like, they're like, oh, we have to match Uber Eats or like DoorDash. That's what it really looks like. And this was not something anyone was complaining about in the My Disney Experience app. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure there's about 1,200 other things that we would like fixed in the My Disney Experience app before one extra bar letting us know your food's being cooked. We know it's being cooked. We paid for it. You said pick it up in a little bit. We'll be there. What is happening? Why are we wasting time on an extra bar for letting us know our $19 pizza made out of cardboard is ready? What are we talking about?
It's already failed.
Breathe, my friend, breathe.
Fired up tonight. We better get to another good story soon.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
Well, the next story
Shannon?
ain't it. Sorry, Pete. I agree with Pete that there are a lot of other things in the app that should be taken care of first. However, I kind of like this because if I were to, I place an order, I close the app, and then when I reopen it, you would expect it to be right there, like your order, but you have to go digging around My Disney Experience to find the mobile order section to find the status of your mobile order. So personally, I like this. So I think overall it's a step in the right direction for MDE.
It just doesn't go away is the problem. Like it stays on your screen. Like you have to close the app if you don't want the updates.
Really? Well, I mean, I assume you could turn off
more
your
annoying than like
2 times already I've had it happen.
Yeah, Kenny's sitting right next to me. He's had it happen to him twice where you can't get it off the screen unless you have to kill the app on your phone.
So just like most of the upgrades that they do to the app, this one breaks it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Another great addition to My Disney Experience.
Thoughts before we move on, Allison?
It's funny that Pete mentioned that they're trying to compete with DoorDash or something, or like try to make it like DoorDash. It was like, but that's not your competitor. Like there are no competitors. You're the only game in town, so you don't need to do that. And I think rather than have all of these developers who I'm sure they had to spend a lot of money on having the developers do the hours of work to create this thing where it pops up on your home screen. Like it could have also just changed the app so that it comes up if you have a pending mobile order, that when you open the app, that's the first thing that comes through. Because I completely agree with Shannon. I tend to not be on my phone all the time. I try not to be, even though Disney makes it almost impossible to not be on the phone all the time, and you have to dig and find the order. They could have just kind of modified that instead of creating this whole new thing, and then maybe spent the money on the developers to address all of the other myriad of complaints that there are on this app that barely function. It's been around now for a decade.
Nah, this is much better. Especially because I haven't, like I said, I have an Android and they haven't bothered to try to get that going yet. So it'll be interesting to see how this one pans out. Let's move on to talk about this one, which Shannon has said already. No, thank you. This is It's a Small World overlay with Groot at Tokyo, which has opened up. This is going to be there through June of this year. I think this is pretty cute. They added Groot to It's a Small World. There's Groot with like some of the other. They've added Marvel characters to it with Groot as kind of like your guide. You can see the huge line of people out here waiting to get in. Here's Groot hiding in bushes and pretending to be, Oh, come on. What are you talking about? There's Rocket.
Blasphemy.
What? There's him hanging out with Mantis and Gamora and Doctor Strange. Like, what? Blasphemy. I don't understand why you hate this so much. You said you want to talk about it. Do you want to talk? Do you want to vent?
I don't.
Okay,
I don't even want to give it the time of day.
All right. Allison, thoughts on this one? It looks cute, right?
I think look, no one was asking for this. Like, Marvel characters don't belong in like a Mary Blair thing, but it's like, I wanted to be mad, but they actually do look kind of cute. And it's just like, yeah, if Tokyo is going to do something, they're going to execute it right. It's just not the thing that I want in like sullying classic attractions, especially those that were like the 1964 World's Fair. Like, no, thank you. I don't want Marvel there. Like, if it wasn't already a Disney property in 1964, I don't want it there now in that attraction. But at least they did a cute job of it.
Yeah. No, you're right. I was looking at this piece because I was like, okay, there's Star-Lord with his radio and Drax playing a pan flute for some strange reason. And then
we always need more pan flute.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. You know what? My wife's a huge Small World fan, and when we found out that they were doing the Disney characters at the one in California, she was like, I don't want that. I don't want that in my life. We went out there and looked at it. She's like, okay, I like that. That works. To me, this is neat that that's a temporary overlay. It's not permanent. So
that's what I was going to say. Yeah. This is temporary. Like, why? Like, if anything, I get it, right? Like, don't touch our baby, Small World. But I mean, this is an overlay. This is just bonus extra stuff. This is the stuff we beg for in Orlando. We don't get overlays in Orlando. Like, this is crazy. If we get an overlay, it's like, hey, we're going to turn the lights off on Space Mountain and just blast music. That's the overlay. There's nothing they added. They just turned the lights off. That's it. That's what we get in Orlando. Like, this is, I mean, come on. Baby Groot with the geese, that is precious. And I'm sure that I'm sure there was a desire in Tokyo for more Marvel. So why not put it right here too? And I think it works on Small World only because Small World is an attraction I know that everybody loves, but sometimes people skip it because they've done it before and it becomes a little monotonous. It's not something like must do every single trip. Maybe every other, and I'm not talking for everybody, but this is another reason to go on Small World. I think it's fun. If it was forever, it would be a different story. This is temporary. Give us more. I want more overlays in Orlando. I am jealous. And of course, Tokyo did a bang-up job with it. So another reason I must go to Tokyo one day.
Yes, indeed. I would love to go there and see this, although Jason Diffendahl, who I look at as my Sherpa when it comes to all things Tokyo, was like, don't go during the summer. It's hot. I'm like,
that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
You live in freaking Orlando. What's I don't know what hot is to him, but anyway, yeah. So let's move on. Dino-Rama, like I mentioned at the top of the show, was closed last Sunday night. Was the last time when we were doing ParksCenter. Monday was the first day for them to start putting up walls and taking down signs and all of that, and they certainly look like they got started right away, removing rooftop signs and everything here. So I'm hoping that that's a good sign that they're jumping in quickly to try to get all this done. They did. There's a group, and I'm gonna butcher this name. The Ecorhythmics. Is that like Echo Rhythmics? Is it Echo? Like, is in like eco-friendly? that they've set up shop here, which looks like they've set up a Spirit Halloween underneath the dinosaur here. Honestly, it just looks a little bit like questionable, but I guess they're like, nothing to see behind us, no big dinosaur here, no big construction happening. We're just hitting on pots and pans, and you should pay attention to us. So Dino-Rama's closed, and what that means is they close down the games and they close down the Triceratops spin. Primeval World was already garbage, trashed a long time ago. They put up picnic tables and a fence to make you forget Primeval World was ever there, and then they went in and they had Triceratops spin, and then again these carnival games in a big empty parking lot taking up a lot of space. So I, as much as I lament the loss of Dinoland in general, that's more of a nostalgia thing, but as far as space goes, I think this is the right move for them to do something new and exciting in here. If you're a huge fan of Dinoland, though, don't worry. Dinoland will close in 1 year. We're hearing it will be 1 year from now, so January of 2026 is when this will close, and then we're told that everything will open up open up in 2027 for this new Tropical America space. So all of this said, are you looking forward, Pete, to this new area? You're clapping a lot. You approve of what they've done here.
Yes. Listen, I know a lot of people love this area, but for me, this is an area that I thought needed love literally since I started coming to Disney as an adult, like consciously, like having an opinion about Disney. I'm always like, this land makes no sense to me. This is not Disney. Like, this is what makes you a carnival. This is what makes you a Six Flags. This is what makes you non-Disney. It's just, it's pulling more money out of your pocket. You pay to get into the park. All the magic is there. The immersion is there. It always felt cheap to me. And I know what happened, right? They ran out of money. They were budget cut. They had to throw something in there. But I have really not liked this area. So I'm so excited for this new area. I know people love Dinoland. I am sad Dinosaur is going to close at the end of this year or early next year. But again, I think that's also run its course. They weren't fixing it. That ride is just basically, hey, do you want to go on, feel like what it feels like being a blender in the dark? And then there's one or two dinosaurs that work. Yes. It's nothing special anymore. I'm so excited for this new land. I'm so pumped at the speed that they are moving. This is the way you should run a construction project. I used to do construction. Like, I love that they were ready to go. They had machines ready to roll. This is great. Let's keep the ball rolling.
Yeah, I agree with you, because there are some times where they will close stuff down, and I think that Universe of Energy and the Great Movie Ride were like that. They shut them both down at the same time, and then it seemed like nothing happened forever. So it is nice to see them actually doing something. Allison, I want to throw this one to you before we move on, but this is funny to me. You could talk about whatever you want to about this, but to me it's funny that they've already done a groundbreaking, which is weird because the ground already existed, so they put 2 buckets of dirt down and everybody took a picture with a shovel. I guess that's how you start this, but it doesn't seem like a groundbreaking thing since it's replacing something, right?
They are just putting photographic evidence to tomorrow being like, no, we're going to have shovels in the ground or whatever he said at T23. Like, this is not, this is not like, blue sky. It's going to be shovels in the ground and we're moving. And I think those pictures are like, look, we're doing it. And obviously they are they're demoing it, which actually makes me sad. And it was always supposed to be a temporary area, but what they did on such a low budget was really remarkable. And I think the 1950s retro carnival feel was actually really well executed. And
it was not a 1950s. How dare you, Allison? How dare you? That was not a retro 1950s. The only area that was great was Chester and Hester's Dinosaur Treasures. The gift shop was the best part of that land, and I will give you that. But it wasn't retro games. They were regular carnival games.
No, the games were not retro. The style was, and the signs and stuff that they're all tearing down. And I'm gonna miss that aesthetic, which I really like.
Some of those things I just love too. I'm obviously going to Lakeland.
Yeah, my daughter likes to go on Triceratops spin, which I'm going to still talk about in the present tense. It's her favorite ride because she likes spinners, and at least the Boneyard's still there for I don't know how long. She'll probably like the Casita better, but I don't know. But children change so quickly. I don't know if she'll be into it by the time it's actually built. So it's a little sad to lose the space now. But it's a hot area. There's not a lot of It's not a lot of shade. It's kind of yep, like the Toy Story area in Hollywood Studios. Like it was always just like very uncomfortable to stand around there. But I'm gonna miss it because it's gonna still be some time before we see the reimagining, which I think will be great. But like in the meantime, we don't have anything. We have the JAMMitors like in different costumes in front of them. Like that's what we have in the meantime. It's fine.
You still have Restaurantosaurus and Trilobites and Photo Ops and Dinosaur. That's what you got left. So
and Restaurant Source Lounge, home of the Pete Carney Margarita. Come on, let's not leave out the lounge.
Don't sleep on the lounge is what you're saying, Pete. Gotcha. All right, let's move on to some clickbait that we threw out this week. Nobody's listening to this, right? The manatees gone from the seas. Oh no, not the manatees. You know what? And honestly, I love the manatees because that's like our only reason to go into. The Nemo ride's fine. The Nemo ride is fine. It's better than the sea cabs were, in my opinion. But it's nice to ride it every now and then. There's almost never a line, so you can go in and ride it. I don't ever do Turtle Talk with Crush because my kids never liked audience participation ever. So if there was something that even smelled like audience participation, they said no, thank you. So we didn't do Turtle Talk with Crush. The only reason really to go in after they don't really do the divers and things anymore was to go in and see the manatees. And so we had Lil Joe and Indigo were in there. They've been rehomed to another place, so they're gone for now. But what we're hearing is that there will be more manatees returning to this because I think that's what this is. It's like a kind of manatee recovery space. So right now, if you go into the seas to see them, there's curtains up. They're being refurbished for our future enjoyment. Pete, you look like you're doing a heavy sigh. Do you miss them? Were they your buddies?
I do miss them. I really do hope they come back. And again, I think this is what they're shifting towards. Like, they took the dolphins out. They just changed the pride over at Animal Kingdom with the lions, where one pride went to their retirement savannah, and we brought new ones in. But I think that's what they're shifting towards. That hey, we're not obviously not going with the not to zoo tribe, but like we're not a zoo or an aquarium, but we are a rehabilitation facility. We are a facility that helps repopulate animals that may be going on the extinct list or already be on that list. So I get it. I just hope that this is a big refurbishment. The manatees, I love the manatees. I don't think they're the only reason to go into the seas, but yeah, the manatees were always a hit. And now that the dolphins are gone and a lot of those other larger creatures, we need some big boys over or girls in the aquarium. So I hope they come back.
Yeah.
I think this is just them being aesthetically, and again, for the public, hey, we're going to do the right thing, and we're going to be a rehab facility, and we're going to help nurture people back to health and whatnot.
Yep. Agree. Allison, was this a must-do for you guys?
Yeah, manatees are my favorite animal, so I love seeing them. And it's sad to like go in there, and it's, there's not that much to see aside from the ride right now. So yeah, I'll miss them. I hope that I like the shift of moving toward like rehabbing them. I hope that like is true and that they end up with these like, less permanent manatees hanging out there. But I also just like always worry things are just going to go away.
Yeah, I mean,
like, aside from the land where like there's the original Epcot is there.
Yeah.
I agree. People sleep on the seas. Like they forget it's there, like because you don't do Nemo. But like when they built that was the largest saltwater aquarium in North America. It still is number 2 in all of North America, like just behind Atlanta after they built that one. It's an incredible attraction on its own. Think about all the aquariums in the United States alone, and this is the second largest saltwater one, and it's just part of a theme park. Some people would pay admission just to go to aquariums. So like I don't know. I think people sleep on it a little too much. But we do need. Obviously we need attractions inside. So let's hope it comes back sooner than later.
Yep, agree. So the last thing on our agenda tonight is to talk about some new concept art that was dropped for a couple things coming up this year. One is that much anticipated nighttime parade. There is some Mary Blair inspired light up costumes. Here's a look at what the princess float will look like, which looks very similar to the daytime princess float.
It does.
I think. So yeah. And then we're getting to see some of the costumes and how they light up the lights that will go through all of this. And then we saw a little bit more from the Disney Villains Unfairly Ever After show. some of the artwork that's being made for that one. So, I don't know, Shannon, are you excited for either of these two? You got to be excited for the parade, right?
Yeah, who is? We've been waiting. So it's been 80 years since we've had a nighttime parade, and Spectro Magic, I will stand by, is my favorite nighttime event. Fireworks, parades, that will always be my top. So I am looking forward to having a nighttime parade again.
Yep. Allison?
Same. Every time we have like a new year, like what are we most excited about in 2019, 2023? I say the same thing, and it's a Magic Kingdom nighttime parade. So the fact that we are actually moving on it, beautiful in the concept art, I'm very excited. And hopefully by the time it's debuted, my kid will be able to hang and stay up until it's dark out, and I can actually enjoy this and show her something that won't be Spectre Magic, because again, I agree, Shannon, that my favorite ever, but will be like really something magical in the Magic Kingdom at night.
Yeah, yep, I agree 100%. Pete, you're show producer on this one, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can't take all the credit. It was really a team effort, but we came together, and something I'm really proud of. No, I agree with both, with what everyone's saying. Spectro was I think, the greatest nighttime parade that I've ever seen, from the floats to the music to the atmosphere. So to see something that kind of sort of resembles that, I'm very excited about, especially also just for the next generation. Like, I feel like there's going to be a generation that doesn't know about nighttime parades at the Magic Kingdom, and I think that's such a pivotal, not moment, but like it's such a core memory when you're on vacation at Walt Disney World, and to not have one for this long has been a real shame. So I'm so pumped for this. I don't see how they can mess this up. I think honestly, because it's been so long, they could have put Christmas lights on the daytime floats and we would have liked it. So the fact that this is getting some love, I'm really excited. And then just one little note on the villain show. The fact that, again, I want to end on a positive note on both of these. This show was a live actor show before this. Now that we're going to have live actors mixing in with this, and I think the concept art looks great. I am so pumped for entertainment, for cast members, for the audience. So these are both two things I am so looking forward to.
Nice. I that is a positive note to end on. I will say that I hope that it is great, and then I hope that they replace it with the Muppet Vision. That's what I will say. I hope that they it's great. We have a year or two with it, and then they move Muppet Vision there, and we get to experience that. Thank you guys for being with us tonight. We appreciate you. Big shout out to our WIGS members. We love our WIGS, the WDWNT Interglobe Society. Appreciate you. Hey, look, there's one right there. How's it going, man?
What's going on? Let's absolutely Muppet Vision. Muppet Vision replacement.
Yes.
Let's go.
Let's go. Absolutely. And so want to say that for those of you who watch ParksCenter, we want to give you a heads up on our scheduling. We're going to have another show next Sunday night at 9 p.m., another one the week after that at 9, and then we're going to take 2 weeks off, one for the Super Bowl, and then the week after that is President's Day weekend, and we'll be back on the 23rd. So hopefully you guys will join us then. Also, if you enjoy hearing us randomly talk about Disney parks, maybe you like hearing us randomly talk about Disney movies and TV shows from Disney Plus, we have a show Deep in the Plus Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. We have Saving Mr. Banks with Shannon this Wednesday night. And then we'll be doing Skeleton Crew on the 29th. We're still looking for a show on the 5th. And then on February 12th, Allison will be here to talk about Beauty and the Beast, the original 1992 movie. So thank you guys for that. Also, if you're a WIGS member, we have a quick post show after this. So hopefully you guys will join us there. Again, the good news that the fires are finally looking to subside out in California. The containment is on the mend. So again, our hearts and thoughts and prayers go out to the folks who are still dealing with that out there, and it's going to be a long road to recovery. But thank you guys thanks to all the firefighters and everybody who are out there taking care of folks out there. So thank you guys. Have a great week. Stay safe, and we will see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Perfect. Bump.
Right, we just,
Executed.
Again, I
no
just
notes.
feel bad about it because I know,
Oh, you're good.